Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make a Cubist tree. Last year in first grade we learned about vertical lines and horizontal lines and diagonal lines. We're going to use entirely straight lines for this project, but they're going to be going in different directions. The artist that we talked about was Mondrian when we were learning about lines. This type of project is called Cubism. And we're going to focus on the artist Pablo Picasso for this project. So I'm going to go ahead and do a demo and show you how to do this project. This is what it looks like when you're finished. This is the finished project. So now let's get started with making one. Okay, I like to use a ruler just to help me keep my line straight, but that's totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my tree trunk doesn't go more than halfway, because if it goes more than halfway, I'm not going to have any room for my branches. So I'm going to go about right here. This is about right here is where I'm going to have it going from the bottom up. And I'm going to make my tree trunk a little bit at an angle. You don't have to do that. You can have it completely straight if you want. It's totally up to you. Now my ruler moved a little bit. That's okay. It doesn't hurt it too much. Try to keep your ruler straight when you're working though, if you are using a ruler. Okay, and then I just start making, before I start making my branches though, I am going to close off my tree trunk to make it a little bit easier to make my branches. And then I just start turning my ruler at an angle, and I make straight lines that are diagonal, and I just keep going all the way around to do that. So some of my lines might be going straight up, some of them might be going at an angle to the right, some of them might be going at an angle to the left. Some of them might be smaller than the others. I'm going to do one more right here. Okay. Now, right now it doesn't look much like what I showed you. So you can see, now I have to break up those spaces into even more spaces. And you can see we have some rectangles here, we have some triangles, we have some trapezoids. So you're going to end up with lots of different shapes, but you're not going to end up with any shapes that are circular, because we're only using straight lines for this project. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start breaking up my spaces into more shapes. And I'm trying to make sure I don't make my shapes completely the same. I want there to be some variety. I want them to look a little different. It's just going to take me just a moment to do this. And I'm just going to start you off with the coloring. I'm not going to completely color this one in, just because that would take me a while to do, and I don't think you want to watch this video that long. Now inside some of these shapes, I'm going to put little limbs to show, little branches. And I think I'm going to put one more right here, little triangular shape. Off. And then I'm going to do another shape just right here. And when I start putting those lines in, it's going to look even more like a tree. So I think I'm going to break up this space right here just a little bit. Alright, so I've got lots of shapes, and you can just, put as many as you want. Now I'm going to start going in and putting some of those branches that I talked about. And they don't all have to be going the same direction. When you look at a tree, the branches don't all go the same. So these are those little small branches inside the tree. Some are tall and some are small. I think I am going to break up this one just a little bit. Put another shape in there. Alright, I think that's good. And I want you to look at the way I colored my tree. You can see that I tried very carefully to make sure I had some type of balance. Now balance usually means balance does mean equal, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same on each side. But what I tried to do is I tried to make sure if I put some red over here on this side, that I put about the same amount of red on this side. And the same thing with all my colors, so that the color is distributed equally. Alright, and one thing I forgot to do is make my horizon line. You know that the horizon line is the line that separates the sky from the ground. Eventually I'll go back and color in my white space blue. So let me go ahead and make my horizon line. I got to make sure that when I'm drawing, I don't draw my line through my tree. And then I'm going to break up this space too, make it very cubic looking. So I'm just going to make some lines. And then I'm going to make another line. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Alright, so you can see that when I colored different colors, but I still tried to have about the same amount of color on each side. So I had two reds here. Okay. Alright, so when you color, you do want to make sure that you're coloring in solid. If you prefer to use a different art material, you are welcome to use a different art material, but I highly recommend drawing with either a Sharpie or drawing with a pencil and then tracing with a Sharpie so you get those nice black lines. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color my tree trunk. So I just take my black marker, and you notice I'm coloring in one direction. And I just go and I keep going in one direction and keep coloring until I have that whole thing colored in. Alright, so I think you get it. I'm going to just finish coloring up here, and then I'm going to show you, maybe I'll do one of my colors just to show you how I started. So let's say I want to start with red. Well, I figure out which shape I want to color red first. And I think I'm going to go ahead and color this one red. Since I colored this shape red, I know that I probably don't want to color the one next to it on this side or here red, because I want my shapes to look different. Okay, so I've colored that one red. Maybe I color another one red over here. So that's 2 reds on this side. So now I'm going to move over to my other side and figure out which ones I want to color red. And then I'm going to put my red marker away and color use a different color. Okay, so I think I'm going to color this one red. And I think I'm going to color this one red. You use whatever colors you want to use. It's totally up to you. Just make sure you have a variety, okay? Because that's my red's done. Now I could go in and use blue for some of my shapes, and brown and green. You just want to make sure that you have a variety, and try not to put your colors next to each other. Spread them out and try to get some type of balance while you're coloring. So I hope you have fun with this project. Can't wait to see what you create. And I'll be talking about this in class a little bit this week. So if you have any questions, you can ask then. And also you can ask me during my office hours on Wednesdays between 9:30 and 10:30. Okay guys, well, get busy making some art, and I'll see you soon. Bye.